Nothing matters but love for God. God is the only reality. All else that seems real is illusory. God and I are one. Meher Baba. Avatar Meher Baba ki jai. Introductory booklet page. Anybody has a marking? Last time where did it stop? Anyway, let's see. Let me see. We could start with something interesting. Do you think we have this problem? Anyone has any memory about having done, because we do this at 2-3 different places, so where we stop, I don't know.
I'll just
Something to do with religion is supposed to make men more humane, is that, or have you done that?
I'll tell you.
Okay, then let's start.
What according to Baba is occultism and what is...
No,
we are on page 12. Okay, as soon as
Page
I have
12, okay.
Supposed to make man more humane. Instead, we find religion to have become the cause of strife and wars. Why? Answer. Baba elaborates. The crux of the situation lies in the correct understanding and reinterpreting of the ancient word religion. Though creeds and theologies are many, religion is, strictly speaking, only one. And this one religion includes in its essence sublime character, mental purity, love for God, and longing to realize the truth. The real meaning of religion is to know God, to see God, and to be one with God. Everything else about religion is an exercise in rites and rituals. So long as people will continue attending to the empty shows of customs and ceremonials, they will fail to grasp the essence or substance of religion. Though religion has come into existence to liberate man from all narrowness, it can itself become a cage when not understood properly. All world religions proclaim the same eternal and universal truth, yet human weakness has a tendency to carve out some limiting, narrow royalty which closes its gates upon the shoreless and unbounded ocean of love or divinity.
Of course, I'll be reading this again, but before that, someone asked Baba, which religion he belonged to. And Baba replied, I belong to no religion. All religions belong to me. My own personal religion is that of my being the ancient infinite one, and the religion I teach to all is love for God, which is the crux of all religions. So that is Baba's such a superb message where he said, that the crux of all religion is the same. The crust of all religions is enmeshed in rites, rituals, ceremonies and dogmas. And my oft repeated example is that of a chicken patties. Sorry for those who are vegetarians. The chicken is the crux, and the potato and the patties and all the stuff outside, that is the crust. We are so focused on the crust that we fight on the crust. There are people who have diyas, there are people who have candles, there are people who have agarbattis, there are people who have electric lights, and these are all symbolic aspects of what Baba says of light. Light signifies knowledge. Fire, which is a symbol even with the Zoroastrians and with so many other cultures, is basically nothing but the fire which is supposed to be lit within our own hearts 24/7, longing to become one with God. So the symbolic fire is given more importance rather than this fire. And this fire should be such, Baba says, that love should be such, the fire should be such, that no smoke should escape. In other words, there should be no exhibitionism of that aspect of love for your love of God. So basically, what Baba is focusing on is the chicken, the crux. Baba in the book called The Nothing and the Everything, he's referred to as the mischievous chicken. If you read that book, Nothing and... So here Baba says, the question is that why, when religion has come to make more human beings more humane, how come we are finding all this strife and everything? So Baba says the crux of the situation lies in the correct understanding and reinterpreting of the ancient word religion. All problems start with interpretation or reinterpretation. When Baba was once asked, that you say that you are the same as Christ. So what is the difference between the religion that Christ taught and the religion that is being practiced now at churches? And Baba said, superb answer in one line, a world of difference. A world of difference. Because we are now so much focused on the external, on the packaging, rather than the content of what is. Because basically the content of all religions is the same. Love for God, selfless service to humanity. And Baba's one-liner for love, definition of love is that which gives and does not expect anything in return. You see, and love basically, disinterested love is the highest type of love, in the sense that there should be no payoff. There should be no what is in it for me in that love. The moment that comes in, then that is not pure, unadulterated love. And Baba's, again, one-liner you may say for service or selfless service is, it is that service where the person who is serving does not even get a thought that he is serving. So that is the level of love and selfless service which Baba expects. So here Baba says that there has to be a reinterpretation of the word religion. Though creeds and theologies are many, religion is, strictly speaking, only one. And this one religion includes in its essence sublime character. Baba gives a lot of emphasis on character. Mental purity. Mental purity, that means there should be no impurity. And my understanding of difference between purity and impurity, in my understanding, is how selfless we are in whatever we do. Purity, impurity, at one time I was thinking that it concerns only sex, let's put it that way. But then over a period of time, through a lot of reading, I realized that anything where there is selfishness, there is no purity. So one needs to graduate from selfishness to selflessness to selfness. Selfishness and selflessness both are in the domain of illusion or duality. Selfness is above both. It's in the realm of unity or Advait, as we say, oneness. Mental purity, love for God, and longing to realize the truth. The real meaning of religion is to know God, to see God, and to become one with God. And very beautifully Baba says, everything else about religion is an exercise in rites and rituals. We are so focused on the exercise of rites and rituals that we forget the main thing. You see, I sometimes joke, that the whole point of having this human body, the whole aim of this human body is to use it in order to love God, know God, and become one with God. Everything else is totally secondary. It is secondary. And the joke that I always pull on us, the Parsis, is that when Parsis go to see a movie, they would take along with them the samosas and the patties and the wafers and all that. You know why you're laughing? You've done that. And the moment the Jana Gana Mana is finished, people start opening their packets of wafers and samosas and patties and all that. In the process, they miss out on the film. They miss out on the film because their focus and attention is on that eating. What are you eating? What is that? Give me this, give me that. So in the same way, the focus of the human form should be only one: to love God, to know God, to see God, and become one with God. As Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, the great perfect master, has said, very beautifully he says, that he is born to no purpose who, having the rare privilege of being born a man, does not realize God in this very life. The whole purpose is lost if we do not realize God in this very life. Otherwise, what is the difference between an animal and a human form? So in the same way, here Baba says, the real meaning of religion, what is the real meaning, the bottom line, crux of religion is to know God, to see God, and to become one with God. Everything else about religion is an exercise in rites and rituals. And when certain religions do all these, Baba would call them drill. Baba has used the word drill. People sitting like this and then twisting this and turning them, doing this and doing that and all that. Baba says these are all spiritual drills that we are focusing on. And most important, the one behind the drill is forgotten. That is, and it could happen to us as well, possibly. Once I remember one kawal had come to Baba, and he was a very well-known kawal. And Baba said, today I am in a mood to listen to your kawal. Normally Baba would in fact not encourage, so Baba, I am in a mood to listen to the kawali. And unfortunately for the kawal, I would say, he said, Hazur, ab mera namaz ka time ho gaya. So it brings tears to our eyes. Just imagine how unfortunate that man would have been. God himself, Allah himself is telling कि भाई गजल हमारे सामने कवाली को बोलो मैंने नमाज लेना. तो जब वो जाता है तो बाबा बोलते उसका तकलीफ देखो. When God is himself asking him to do a kawali presentation, he says that means we are focusing on not the crux, but the crust of the matter, which is in all these things. Before you came, I just gave an example about chicken patties, but I won't repeat it. Because then my mouth will start watering. I was just saying that most of us we should be focused on the crux. That is to love God, to know God, to see God, and try to become one with God. Rather than that, we talk about the periphery. And Baba has very beautifully said, he has given an example of a wheel, and having so many spokes. And then there is an axle or an axis or an And Baba says that all those who are on the periphery, who are only concerned with religious rites, rituals and ceremonies, they see themselves apart from each other. They are away from each other. They only know how to find faults with other religions or other people. But as one matures spiritually, and as you walk closer and closer to the axle, as you spiritually mature or graduate, so to speak, you see less and less differences between you because you are coming closer and closer, and you tend to tolerate each other more. So with spiritual maturity, what comes is tolerance for each other and seeing of lesser and lesser of differences. Coming back to our reading, everything else about religion is an exercise in rites and rituals. So long as people will continue attending to the empty shows of customs and ceremonials, they will fail to grasp the essence or substance of religion. So long as we do that. Page 12. Though religion has come into existence to liberate man from all narrowness, it can itself become a cage when not properly understood. Today, religion has become a cage, and there are people who change religions from this religion to that religion, and Baba would say that changing of religion would be like going from one cage to another cage. We are giving a lot of importance to the cages. There was once a must and he was residing in the temple premises, and Baba and Eraj had gone.